goddamn get it on, will ya? Woo. When I blow up now, everybody's so unusual with it. Shit. But said times in his rhymes, cause his memories. We running through New York.
Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. So today is going to be a completely different video. So today I'm going to be showing you all the receipts and papers that my BMW E60 M5 has come with since new. Now, if many of you guys are not aware, when I purchased this car, it came with a whole box full of the receipts from the beginning since the first owner purchased it. Now, it's something I wanted to show you a lot of you guys, because as you guys know, there's a lot of people who come to YouTube with their BMW E60 M5s and they talk about this, that, the other, but they've never got any papers to actually back it up or to show what it's ever had done. As you guys know, with me, on the other hand, every car I own has all the papers. I do not buy any BMW unless it's got a lot of paperwork and everything with it. And that's purely because without all that, you know the car's been neglected, because owners cannot lose these documents. A lot of people make out on ads, and when they're selling cars, that it's already lost during a house move or this or that. It's not that. A lot of the time, it's because they didn't get it at all, and because just the people were very dirty and very trampy and didn't care about it. This is very, very critical, especially buying an E60 M5 or buying an M3, that you have these papers. Now, me personally, I would not buy any car, and I mean any car, without these papers. And as I just said, every BM I have, or every car I've ever bought, I've always made sure it's had all the papers with it. There is a lot of them inside there, and it's going to take probably quite a while to go through every single one, but I'm going to show you from the day it actually left the BMW showroom all the way up to what it's actually had done by every single owner. And I've got every single owner's receipts inside the box. It is a massive, massive box, which you'll see right here. It's not a small box. I've got all the wallet pack for the E60 M5 and every single receipt, all the money that's been spent. It is massive and it's fully loaded inside there. And as I said, there is many people who buy an E60 M5 and just run through their costs, but this is not even my cost. This is just all the cost that's been spent on it in the beginning, and actually I know the whole history of the car. So therefore, that's why I've got leverage over a lot of other people who come onto YouTube trying to state that they've done this, they've done that. They don't even know the car, so they can't say this has been replaced and that's been replaced without the proof sitting right in front of you. So now I'm going to show you inside of what my cars have done and how much work this car's actually had done to it in its lifetime. Okay guys, so as you'll see here, this is the whole file of facts right here. So if you can see there, the first thing we've got is all the old MOTs in a folder, and obviously the emissions test and everything else. This was in another folder in there. We've got every single one since its first MOT, which it was passing without no advisories on the car itself. We've got every single MOT, which is very rare to come across any car in the UK, as many people will even realise, to come with every MOT, which I've got every single thing, and it sits in this green folder here, which I keep very secure. The next thing you're going to see, which I'm going to show you, is the ad. Now, this was the ad when it was on another site, and you've got to bear in mind, look at the mileage there. You'll see it was 69,000, which you'll see right here. And it was on 69,000 when this car was sold for 17 grand. This was the previous ad that they actually had, and they kept it in the box. This was when it was listed and it was being sold. This was being sold in Oxford by, as you see there, Cotswold Motorsports. You'll see it up there, it was a motorsport company, and this is where it's on their portfolio as one of the best M5s they ever had. This is still saying in the box, this is when it was listed with them, and this is when the previous owner actually bought it. That's the first thing. So as you'll see here now, this is the warranty book. Now this is the warranty that many people would have got when they purchased the BMW E60 M5. As many of you guys know, many people won't purchase this car without warranty. And as you see in here, it's got all the vehicle application, what vehicle it is, and it was sold by Cotswold Motorsports with the warranty. You'll see here that was the guy's signature when he actually bought it, and the receipt from when the old owner actually bought it, right there. And buyer information isn't relevant because it's not the longer the buyer, but as you see there, there's all the receipt, and he traded in a car to actually buy this. Trading a Volvo. I've actually got everything from all the old owners inside here. Now when you bear in mind this car's had 8 owners, I've got everything from all 8 owners, so I'm very, very happy with that. Now as you'll see here, this is the original purchase invoice as well, which that was the old owner as well up there. We've also got everything here which was spec'd, and as you see there, that's the purchase price. Amount due from customer was 61 grand. He actually traded in a car, which if I can find it I'll show you, because he part exchanged right there, an ML55 AMG, and he got 15,000 off the car, which would have made the car around 70 something thousand, 76,000, which is right up here. but I bet the guy's actually regretting that now, selling that, because they've become worth a lot of money now. So he's probably regretting selling that for the E60 M5. But as you see here, that's what it was spec'd with when it was new. And if you go along here, you'll see all the package which mine actually come with, and this is where it was spec'd from new, with everything on it as well. That was the used vehicle order. It was a demo car, this one as well, just to let you guys know. That's why if you're looking here as well, you'll also notice was, as you see there, 2,000 miles already on the car when the guy actually purchased it brand new. But as you see there, everything was actually carried out and everything was done on the car from actually new, from BMW. Now here's some other paperwork for you guys. Now when the actual company owned it, which was a sports car company that actually owned this, they actually had done to replace the Vanos high pressure pump. As you guys know, 2005 had a problem with the Vanos high pressure pumps where they started failing, so they updated it to the latest revised one. I have checked the part number and it is the latest one that BMW supply today. They also replaced the gasket, the oil filter, the high pressure pump, chain tensioner, again the chain tensioner, all the washers, bolts. They replaced it for all the latest one, so that was all done. And considering I just had the rod bearings done, they even said there was no play in it and it was perfect. So it is the latest one, because I checked up the part number again on ETK and it comes up that that's the latest one that BMW still use today. And as you see there, they replaced the radiator cooling fan and everything else. We've also got performed diagnostic tests and performed battery energy diagnosis, replaced battery register in the battery. We've also got a check for battery discharge, check and found that the battery is not holding. We've also got here where they replaced the intake pipe of the radiator return line. There's quite a lot of invoices here for the BMW itself that it's gone through BMW. I also managed to print this all off from BMW as well, direct from their system, and I've got everything that was fully done based on the VIN. I can print out everything that I needed to see on the car when it's been into the dealer, what's happened, because a lot of it was from BMW dealer. So when I actually purchased it, I wanted to know everything, so I just gained access. So as you'll see here, if I go through all the papers, you can see here we've had the engine oil, coolant heater exchange leaking, which was fully credited, and that was done at 66,000 miles. We've got the charging battery, removing and installing coolant thermostat housing. Everything's been done on there. The EDR actuator, which I replaced both of them anyway, didn't have a problem, because that's why, because it was only just replaced recently. Coolant temperature sensor coolant. We've then got up here rotary shaft seal, pulley side leaking, perform vehicle test, replacing crankshaft. We've also got the level sensor, fuel tank, performing a vehicle test. All this was covered under warranty, and as you can see here, you can see it when it's been accepted and rejected, and the person's had to pay out for it as well. As you see here, again, a lot of rejects and accepted for the fully credited. Right fuel level sensor, so that's been changed as well. That's probably why the fuse popped. We've got the level sensor for the fuel tank as well, vehicle diagnostics. We've also got airways, checking oil pressure of the Vanos adjustment units. We've also got the battery cable cover, everything's been done on here, gasket rings. As you see here though, I've pulled up everything, because a lot of this stuff you would never see on the papers itself when it's been into BMW. So a lot of you guys who have cars, because you're not part of the trade, you won't get access to this to be able to see anything your car's actually had done, unless you've got full access to the system to be able to get all this from the system. But as you see here, we've also got the replacing car communication computer, which again was replaced, so it wasn't brand new as well. The amplifier had a problem, they've redone that as well. They replaced quite a lot of stuff on this car, interrogating the fault memory and controlled it for the steering column, so that's already been replaced as well, prior to me replacing it. Replacing the body module, you see here there's been quite a lot of parts replaced on this car over its life via BMW as well. Like I said, it has had the clutch and the SMG done as well. We've had a lot of the oil line for the crankshaft and everything else done as well here. So as you'll see here as well, the car's had a new clutch release, rough running. We're removing and reinstalling and replacing the flywheel, perform the vehicle test, the clutch disc. We've also had the SMG unit replaced as well, because it was giving problems when it was new. So they replaced that as well. But as you're seeing there, guys, you know, I've got every document for this car. We've also got another receipt here from BMW to perform a vehicle diagnostics tech, and it was passed with no faults found, but as it is now, same way. As you see, another receipt from BMW to replace the near side tyres and supply number plate bulbs. We've also got another receipt here from BMW for the spark plug service standard. to replace the spark plugs on the car. We've also got here where they replaced the flywheel and clutch on the car. As you'll see here, this was done in 2010 at 36,000 miles. They replaced everything as well on the car. So as you see there, the cost of it, $2.5 grand. But as you see, this car has been meticulously looked after regardless of cost. We've also got another one here for tyres and obviously wash. Another one there. Also got one here for the work carried out, supply and fit rear tyres, adjust and tracking. Another one here for labour and paint and matte and whatever it was. Another one here to replace the windscreen glass hole, check suspension alignment, front and rear, and everything else. Will replace both windscreen wiper blades, so that's been done as well. Another one here for the service work, oil filter and SMG gearbox final drive, to have that all serviced. That was all serviced at 27,000 miles. We also had it for the update, the DVD service charge, which was altogether £100. They updated that for the guy, so that was all updated. We also got the alloy rims, which you had to buy new ones by the looks of it, 2 new ones. We also got replaced tyres as well from BMW. We also got here carry out routine maintenance, engine oil service, brake fluid service. Everything's been done on that as well. You know, this tallies up to a lot of money spent on this car already. Got Conti Contact Sports from BMW as well. Carried out update software for iPod connection, and the car did have an iPod connection until I removed it. You also see here the headrest that I recently purchased as well, £255 each, which were £510, which ended up being £612. They were for the M1, so we got that as well. We've also got another one from BMW Direct as well, where they call it the fault memory and diagnostic, replacing ignition coils as well, misfire fault stored, and vehicle health check. We've also got brake fluid service as well there. You see here another service interval where they did service the SMG gearbox final drive and oil for manual gearbox final drive, gear oil, screw plug of O-ring, BMW engine oil. They did it all, so it's quite good to know that was done in 2017 as well. So that was all changed. As you see here, the SMG service didn't really cost that much. Also got one here for tyres as well, actually front wheel alignment being done. This is when someone had a private plate on it. Also got here for M5 engine oil cooler. We've got the engine oil, engine flush, pollen filter, top, all lubricants, and that was checked. As you see here, another one from BMW, and cost there £260. Check and report when steering and full lock there is a noise. Called up full for no fault. Found the final drive oil need to be replaced. Drain oil and rear diff, because as you guys know, they weld together because they're cogs inside the final drive, which can end up welding together and cause that noise to come. So they replaced the inside bulb as well, also the reverse bulbs. So you know. So we also got the key data as well from when it went into BMW at 70k. It shows everything if the car's been launched or anything like that. You can see it all on the key data, which as you see here, it hasn't been launched. Also got another one here for replace the dry bulb for the alternator, investigate EML light stored for throttle valve, actuator, coolant thermostat and temp sensor, excess element of insurance repair to be paid. So that was going to be paid. Remove chassis bolt that had been over tightened. So they've done that as well. Everything here for air filter, oil filter, someone's had the whole works done on the car. Carry out brake fluid change, element of insurance to repair to be paid by insured party, replace fuel level sensor, replace the clutch as well. At 60k, the clutch was replaced. Tyres, valves and wheels, more tyres. Remove and replace SMG control unit, relay on gearbox adaptations, checked and tested okay. Work carried out covered by warranty. So we've got another one there for the gearbox. 1 litre top up oil, .4 brake fluid for the brake fluid flush, screen washer fluid, oil filter, and as you see here we've got the BMW service, check control, and this is all the things that they tick off to make sure everything's running perfectly. This is everything perfect on here, that everything's just been ticked off after the vehicle inspection, and everything passed fully. You also see here the solenoids were replaced at a cost of £457, remove and install both solenoid valve left and right. Perform vehicle test, bled Vanos 5 times, and the Vanos solenoids were completely done, and that was at 41,000 miles. The Vanos solenoids were changed on the car, so that was another job complete. Now the one before, probably I just got it, which looks like it was at 96,000 miles, was that it was an IBS cable was brand new, the IBS adapter, the oil, you know, a bulb for the xenons, and everything else, run health check. And the reason they done the IBS sensors is because of the battery drain. They thought the battery drain was full, which wasn't the cause at all. So that was why they replaced all that. This was the money spent on it just before, you know, it got with BMW. And as you see there, another load of tyres. And as you'll see here, this is when I bought everything, the pressure hose, the sealing ring, O-ring, gaskets and everything else for the car. Before I did the rod bearings, everything was there. We had already bought the rod bearings, but we just needed the pressure hose, sealing ring, the gasket and the bolts that were going to be used for the sump. And this was the cost of it when I purchased it all, which wasn't really expensive. £196 was really good for all them parts. So we got all that and we've changed all that as well. So that's all been done. So that's another receipt from BMW. And this was the last receipt inside the box, guys. So there you have it. This is all the receipts for my BMW E60 M5. So as you've seen right there, guys, I've just shown you all the paperwork for my BMW E60 M5. These cars can be looked after regardless how many owners, regardless of the cost as well. As you see, my one was very, very meticulously looked after all its life. And that's because the owners that were buying it had money and they would put the money towards the car. Because if it's a car you want, as I've always said, you will look after it no matter what the cost, because you'll find the money or you'll be in a good job where you know you can afford it. There is a lot of people who go out their way and purchase a car and don't even have the money to look after it. The people that own this car either had the money or they knew they could afford it. And it's the same for me. I would not have bought one of these cars unless I knew what I was doing. You know, I know what I'm doing, and many of you guys already know that with the electronics and also the engine side. So for me, this car wasn't hard to own at all anyway from the beginning. But for a normal person, this car can end up running you into the ground, as you see there. Now, as I said to you, there's a lot of people on YouTube and a lot of people who always talk they've got the best looked after E60 M5. I don't need to sit here and tell you I've got the best looked after E60 M5. I know I do, because I'd have all the paperwork from brand new to prove what this car's had done, and I know every single owner that's owned this car and has always looked after it. Therefore, I knew when I was purchasing this car for that cheap, I knew this car was going to be looked after. Just seeing all that paperwork there showed me. And I don't worry too much about buying cars, because I know I can print off all the data that I need from the car when it's been into BMW, and I can see everything that's ever had done. Because you have to bear in mind, for the first 3 years, BMW cover everything on them cars. So therefore, if people have them on warranty or BMW makes a failure on them cars, it's all going to be on their reports. As you saw there, I've got a whole list of all the report from every single mileage of when that car went into BMW and everything that was changed. So that's how I knew what I was looking at this car, what I need to change, what hadn't been changed, what has been changed, and what is a common problem on these cars, probably just by all them issues that I had there from printing off all the data from when this car was brand new. So I did nail all the faults that this car had, and I'm very, very pleased with it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video now, and as you see here, I'm not one to talk crap and just come on a video telling you I've spent this, I've spent that, it cost me this, it cost me that. You see it all there. The proof is in the pudding, as they say, and everything is on paperwork there to actually prove to you how much money this car's actually had put into it, and how many people have actually cherished this car and actually looked after it. And I do have one of the best looked after them 5s. So thank you very much for watching, guys. It's BMW Dr. Dean here, and goodbye.